I'm worried about my child training as he has an injury. Can he still train?
So, my take on this is pretty much the same as an adult. Often, in 99% of situations, leaving an injury, as in doing nothing and allowing your body to heal, won't actually improve it for the long run. Okay, your body doesn't just say, "Oh, I'm going to fix," and fixes. Unless it's bone, bone is slightly different. But muscular, something that's a muscular injury, which often always happens with a bone injury anyway, means that not doing anything will not aid you. Okay, so a good example is I fractured my sternoclavicular joint when I was 16 in playing rugby, and I through no one's fault, I didn't do any rehabilitation really. I didn't really do anything because it just wasn't it wasn't known necessarily at that time. I'm that old. But I have problems with it today. And I know that's because I have muscle imbalances that have carried on until it was a little bit too late when I realised and got educated that I could have fixed it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. However, I notice it today, and that is, so many, many years ago.
But that's the same as well with your ankle that you damaged when you were 14. And this often happens. So twisted an ankle, really sprained it badly, and because it wasn't taken care of, it wasn't rehabilitated. So not that he just left it and then didn't do anything. You actually have to make sure that you're going back to fixing it fully. Otherwise, for 20 years, you've been walking slightly different, which then causes issues in your back and things like that. So it's very important to tackle it head on, not just to leave it and wait for it to recover, to actually see the right person that can rehabilitate it and will actually see it all the way through. So not just thinking, I'll go and get a physio appointment one time to fix it, actually seeing it all the way through.
Yeah, and the best physios, osteos to see are people that deal with sports, because they have to get their players back into competitive sport far quicker than the average person. So, if you go to a physio that's not used to playing with sports people or trying to get people back into activity quickly, they'll say 6 to 8 weeks, rest 6 to 8 weeks. You will have heard it, and that is a classic rest 6 to 8 weeks. There's plenty of things you can do within those 6 to 8 weeks to improve your rehabilitation. So make sure you see a physio or an osteopath that deals with people whose careers are affected by how quick or how long they take to rehabilitate from exercise.
Because this is key as a young person, because your career's not dependent on it. However,
your future,
20 years time, if you're walking around slightly different and you end up with a bad back, you can trace it all differently. You can trace it all the way back. So it's important. And this is, we talk about sports, but most of our academy young people are not, typical. We're not from sports people, but it's kind of where all of the best rehabilitation and things like that tend to sit. So that's what
the academy is. We aim to give confidence to the young adults. So it's not the rugby stars. It is people that sport isn't necessarily their, the first thing that they look towards to do. And so that's why the academy is so important for that.
Get change.